Well, after 2 years of TIFF and the BOC saying
Spend, spend, spend.
now the message has changed to,
Don't spend, deleverage, and save.
and yes, since inflation is running wild, the real estate market seems to be crashing because the cost of borrowing is increasing rapidly, and we all need to change our spending habits. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 ways you can start to get ahead of the downturning economy, and some things that I am personally doing to increase my savings while decreasing my own balance sheet. And that is all in today's episode of You Better Start Saving or You're Going to Lose Your House. Well, no, hopefully not, but maybe if you don't start saving. But first, please remember that this channel is dedicated to Canadian real estate. So if you would like to stay up to date on the market, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and also follow me on my second channel, The Tom Story Show, a weekly long-form podcast to talk about Canadian real estate that is available here on YouTube and podcast apps everywhere. But enough about my channels. Let's dive into the first thing you can do to get ready for the downturning economy and how you can start to protect your own pocketbook. And that is to make a budget. Just the simple act of writing down how much you take home each month and plotting that against how much you're spending is a real eye-opener for a lot of people. This is a practice that I do annually, and really, I think you should too. Simply grab all of your Visa bills and banking statements and list every charge that you see there on a monthly basis on an Excel spreadsheet. It's basically all there is to it, but if you don't know exactly how to do a budget yourself, there is some free software out there, some apps like maybe mint.com that you can hook up directly to your bank accounts and credit cards, and presto, they'll create a budget for you. Then label all of the different charges that are reoccurring or one-time payments so you can better understand how you're spending your money each month. I did this once actually with a friend of mine that didn't know how to do a budget, and by the time we were done, we identified that he couldn't explain where $350 a month of cash spending went to. So shifting his eyes to understanding where the payments were being made and just a couple of quick adjustments to those payments, that friend of mine was able to save upwards of $4,000 a year from that point forward. And that leads us to number 2, and that is to reduce your spending. And specifically now that you have a budget, you can easily identify things that you're spending too much money on each month. For me personally, I know for sure that one thing is Starbucks. I mean, I know Tim's is more affordable, but let's be honest, nobody actually wants to drink that pond water.
Ugh, Tim Hortons.
So now I make an effort to make coffee at home in the morning before I head out the door. And that one thing turns my $18.45 coffee habit per week down to just a few bucks, simply by switching to homebrew. So identify what it is you are spending on each month and try your best to cut back just a little bit. Because number 3 on my list today is the one thing that probably all of us could cut back on a lot, and that is our streaming services. It's now said that the average household subscribes to 4.7 different streaming services, and really, that's probably too many. Because we all thought that $60 to $80 a month just for cable was too expensive. So now we've switched to likely 5 or more different streaming services, ranging from cheap ones like my Apple Plus account at $5.99 a month to $11.99 for Disney Plus, $19.99 now for Netflix, another $9.99 for Spotify, $17.99 for YouTube
Crave,
Premium, ESPN
Hulu,
Plus, Peloton is now $55 iCloud storage for your photos, and yes, my Amazon Prime account just increased to $99 a year. So analyze which one or many of these you could start living without, and you will likely save upwards of $20 to $50 a month for the low price of getting all your time back to yourself. Number 4 on the list is to pack a lunch. The average cost of fast food these days is $11 to $17 per meal. And to pack a lunch from home every day, you can not only likely cut that cost in half, but also you won't be ingesting all of that processed food and unnecessary calories. And that will have you clicking the like button for your new beach body as soon as next summer.
This one I can get on board with.
Next up is number 5, and much like packing a lunch, stop dining out and start dining in. I'm not sure about you, but when I go out for dinner with friends, it usually starts with a cocktail and then an appy because it's Friday and, well, I deserve it. Then I move on to the main that now costs $23.25 because the Feeney burger is just so really good. Maybe a bottle of wine gets shared between all of us, and even after you skip dessert because you're watching your figure, the bill is easily $180. And let's face it, if you just would have made burgers at home, you could have doubled your wine consumption for half the price. And then you don't have to worry about the Uber ride home or the possible cost of a DUI. Switching gears to number 6, and hopefully that DUI that you just avoided isn't in a car that's too expensive. That's right, it might actually be time for many people out there to think about selling that car that costs just too much. I firmly believe that we should only drive cars where the purchase price is less than 50% of our yearly salary. Yeah, if you're earning $60,000 a year and your car was on sale for $59,999 plus tax, you've overcarred. Sell that thing and get out from what is likely a massive 7-year payment that is just absolutely killing your bank accounts a little bit every month. Unless you actually bought that car all cash. And actually, now that I think about it, if you did buy a $60,000 car all cash, then you can just go ahead and turn off this video now because you're doing great. 7, it's time to switch back to debit. If you haven't heard, retailers in Canada just negotiated the right to charge you up to 2.4% on top of your purchase price when paying with either Visa or MasterCard. So now all those points that were such a great benefit to you are now on your dime. So switching to paying now with debit instead of your credit will actually save you a ton of money moving forward. Since debit is just coming out of your bank account, you will not likely have costly monthly credit cards with up to 20% interest. Yeah, 20% interest is the average credit card. And people are worried about their mortgage debt. Number 8, if you don't already have one, open a TFSA or a tax-free savings account. Because with all of these newfound savings that you have piling up in your bank account, you're going to have a new problem on your hand, and that is paying tax on the interest that you're now making in the bank. Why not move that money into a tax-free savings account so your interest is just that, tax-free? And better yet, if you aren't spending that money in the next year and a half, why not put it into something like a Tangerine GIC for 18 months and make 4.85%?
Tax-free, baby.
Not enough people have a TFSA, and although they are limited up to, I believe it's about 81.5 this year. Just recently, I met someone who had a lot more than that sitting in a savings account, only paying 1%, taxable. And all they have to do is switch that money into a TFSA totally for free and instantly make more than 4 times their money. No tax. Meaning that yes, that particular person was losing upwards of $3,000 a year just because they had their money in the wrong bank account. Next, or maybe actually possibly ahead of the TFSA, is number 9. Please start, if you're not already, deferring some of your taxes today by taking advantage of an RRSP. So many people don't understand the benefits of an RRSP account. Essentially, it allows you to not pay taxes now on some of the money that you earned this year and defer that tax payment to later on when you retire. In the meantime, that money is still yours and it's allowed to grow. And it too can also sit in a high interest account, making even more money than you may have ever thought possible. Or you can take both your RRSP and your TFSA maybe to a financial advisor, and they can help you invest that money to hopefully grow it even faster for your future. And your reward for contributing to your RSP is likely a big fat tax return at the end of the year, which you can then roll over into number 10, paying down your mortgage faster. You can often pay down your mortgage with lump sums by increasing your monthly payment or even increasing the frequency of your payments. And the benefit of paying down your mortgage faster is that you end up paying less interest to the bank in the long run. So you end up keeping more of your own money. This right now is my primary focus because we are heading into what is likely going to be a decade of higher than normal interest rates. People with higher rates and higher balances in the future will have higher payments, or they may even need to book a call with me right now down below in the description to get their home sold because they didn't watch this video all the way to the end like you did. And since you did, if you could please just institute 1 or 2 of these tips into your day-to-day life, then for sure you're going to be in a better financial spot in the future, and that will have made me doing this entire video worth it. But stay tuned for another upcoming video because I'm going to show you even more benefits of paying down your mortgage mortgage faster. So please make sure you subscribe, click the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and we'll see you in a couple of days.